Hello, this is Cass Naidu, Conscious Life and Relationship Coach. And in this free webinar, I'm going to share with you the 5 steps to calling in the love of your life. So if you're single and you're watching this, then I want you for a moment to just close your eyes, not if you're driving, of course, but close your eyes if you're in a safe place and just imagine what it would be like, what it would feel like if you went on a date and you met someone and you felt this immense connection with them, and going months into the future, you're in a relationship with this person. It feels right. It feels meant to be. You have this really deep connection, this love that is blossoming between the two of you. You support each other. You celebrate each other's wins. Can you imagine being in a relationship like that? And every one of us desires that kind of relationship. And I know that in today's world, it is not so easy to attract relationships like that because there's so much noise, especially in online dating. You're just going there and there's like thousands of profiles, and a lot of them are the Tinder swindlers, the scammers that are on their fake profiles. And then sometimes you meet someone, a real person, and you think, oh, great, now I'm actually talking to a real person. But then it's the endless texting and you're not actually meeting face to face and going on dates. And then sometimes you might meet someone and think, this is the one, this is so good, we're really connecting. And then the person just simply ghosts you. They disappear, you have no clue what has happened, but they just ghost you. And then there's the ones that are only there looking for hookups. So they don't want a committed relationship. And my guess is that if you're watching this, you're looking for a committed relationship with that one special person. Right? It's the 5 steps to calling in the love of your life. And what I find very sad with all my clients when I have that initial conversation with them and they say, I don't know where to find my ideal partner. Or I don't know if this person actually exists, this ideal partner that I'm looking for. Or I've been so hurt before, or I put myself out there and I was rejected. And now it's like, these are the internal challenges that we have. It's the hurt. If you're a human being, you've been hurt before, right? And today, most people get into multiple relationships before finding that person that they want to spend the rest of their life with. So in those multiple relationships beforehand, those relationships end because something wasn't quite right. Either you were not being treated the way you want to be treated, or one or both of you were not putting in the time and the energy, or maybe someone cheated on you, or maybe they abandoned you. So whatever it is, we carry all of that hurt with us. And when we do, it's almost like we put up a shield in front of us that says, do not hurt me. But the shield that we put up not only prevents you from getting hurt, it also prevents love from coming in, right? Because it's up there, it's blocking that from happening. Sometimes I find people saying, maybe I'm better off alone. And again, this is only coming from a place of hurt, because as human beings, we deeply crave connection. We're not meant to be alone. We want to be with that special person that sees us as we really are at our most authentic, that person that sees us and knows us, and no matter what, has our back. That is the kind of connection that we want to experience in our life. There's very few people that are just completely happy on their own. Maybe they're on a spiritual path, and that's fine, right? But for the majority of us, we want to feel that truly deep connection with one person, that this one person knows me better than anybody else does. Another internal challenge is we could be in our comfort zones. So because of everything we've experienced, we create a life, we create this little bubble in which we live. So we've got our work, that's going great. We've got our family, we've got our friends, and we keep to that small circle of friends, and we're seeing the same people over and over again. And it feels like, yeah, I've got a social life, but we're not exactly expanding that. So we're not actually letting love in, right? Or you could lack the confidence. And I want to just talk a little bit about confidence, because most of my clients are very successful professional women, or they own their own businesses. So the confidence is there, especially in the work area, because that's your genius zone. It's the area where you spend years studying, you spend years gaining experience, and you are here now in that genius zone. So it's easy to be confident. But self-worth is something completely different. It is an innate sense of knowing that I am worthy. I'm worthy of this great love, this great relationship. I'm worthy of being loved and adored unconditionally. And the majority of the world's population does not have that, right? So the worthiness is what is lacking, and what we need to really work on. So these are some of the relationship myths that I come across, that when I find the right person, I will be happy. And unfortunately, there is no person out there that's going to make you happy. You have to first become a person that is happy, and then you will attract a person that is happy, right? We can't be sad, lonely, depressed, wondering if I'm ever going to meet the right person. Why am I still alone when I have so much to offer? And from that space, attract an amazing person. It just cannot happen. We also believe that with the right person, it's easy. So I don't need to do any work. And that is because of the fairy tale. Remember when we were little kids, our parents used to read fairy tales to us, and they all ended with, and the prince and the princess, and they all lived happily ever after. It ends there. We don't know what happened afterwards, when they had to get the house and bond payments and kids and the school and, picking up, dropping off housework. They don't tell us what happened there. So I want you to know that the fairy tale, or that epic relationship, that great love, is possible for every single one of us, but it does take some work, right? And the work is not on the relationship. So it's not about finding this person, oh, there's attraction, it feels good, there's chemistry between us, we understand each other, and then you jump into a relationship. The work is not on the relationship ever. If you're working on relationships, you're wasting your time. There's the relationship on the top, and in this triangle, there's you on the one end and your partner on the other end. And the only work is on these two people. Because when you both come into a place where you feel whole, you feel authentic, you know who you are in your fullness, in your potential, those two people can create the most amazing relationship. But if you're coming in and you've got, stuff that you're bringing in from the past, you've got limiting beliefs that you're coming in with, you've got all this hurt that you haven't dealt with, then you can see that it is nearly impossible to create an epic relationship from that place. Then I hear the story of, the problem is that all the good ones are taken. Really, there's over 8 billion people on this planet. And I want to tell you that for each one of you that's watching this right now, there are thousands of possible matches for you. So all the good ones are definitely not taken. After all, you're watching this and you're one of the good ones, right? Then I hear things like, oh, men don't want to commit, men only want one thing, or women don't need men, they're just so strong and independent now. And, and then women are saying, oh, but men are intimidated by my strength and my success and my wealth, or whatever it is I have. And again, what we attract into our life is based on the energy that we put out. The energy that we put out is based on our thoughts, our emotions, our actions. That's the energy we put out. That's what we attract. So if the people you've been attracting into your life in the past, we say they're all narcissists, or someone doesn't want to commit, or whatever it is It's a reflection. That's all it is. And if you don't like what you've been attracting, or if you're not attracting anybody at all, then something has to shift internally for that outside picture to shift, right? One of the worst ones as far as relationship myths go is, if it's meant to be, it will be. Now, I want to ask you this question. So when you finished studying and you wanted a job, did you sit at home and say, if it's meant to be, it will be? So some employer somewhere is going to come and knock on my door and find me and give me this job. When you wanted your car, did you sit at home and say, oh, if it's meant to be, it will be? Some dealer will come and find me and bring me a car to test drive. Or I want to buy a house, but, let some real estate agent come to me and tell me what they have. No, we don't do that. When we want something, we go after it. If you want the job, you're putting your CV out there. You're telling everybody. You're talking to HR people, and you're looking for that job. When you want the house, you do the same. You want the car, you do the same. But when it comes to a partner, why is it that we say, if it's meant to be, it will be? So for me, I'm saying that is one of the big myths. Don't buy into it any longer. If you're watching this, I want you to make a decision right now. If I want love, I'm going after it, right? And the other big myth is, oh, I'm too busy at work. I've got too much on my plate. I don't have the time. And I want you to look at your life and find people in your life that are as busy as you are, and they're in great relationships. So if you can find 1, 2, 3, that means that's a myth. It's not real. All right. So you can have it all. You can have the great job, success, and you can have that relationship as well. So why me? Why am I this person that's here telling you I have these 5 steps to call in the love of your life? How do I qualify for this? My journey started when I got divorced, because when I got married, there was no way that I ever imagined that I would get divorced. Because I believed in the fairy tale at that time, that, I found the partner now, we're in love with each other, and we're going to live happily for the rest of our lives. And when I got divorced, it was a total shock to me. And initially, there was so much hurt, so much pain around it. And I felt, if you're a man, stay the hell away from me. But over time, then you realize, that yearning for the closeness, the connection, it is there again. And I looked around me and I saw that there were so many other people, good people that had so much to offer. And yet there they were, alone, not knowing where to go to find the right partner. Why is it when I have so much to offer, I can't find that person, right? I saw this happen, and I saw people struggle with that. And I decided I have to find an answer to this, because something about this whole model is broken. 53% of marriages end in divorce. So something about this model is broken, right? The fairy tale doesn't exist. So what do we do? So I went on a quest and I interviewed over 1,000 people who are single, to see where are the struggles. Why is it that you can't find this ideal partner for yourself? And then people who are divorced, to see, how did you get into that relationship? And then why did it not work? What went wrong? And then the most important group was, I interviewed couples that were married for 30, 40, 50 years. And I got to ask them the questions, how did your relationship start? What is it that you saw in each other? How did you respond to each other? How did you get into a relationship in the first place? What has made this relationship last all this time? So when I started asking these questions, and I'm listening to the answers over and over and over again, and after a point, I saw a pattern. I saw that these couples that were in these really happy relationships, they did certain things differently as compared to the ones that are struggling in relationships, right? And as this pattern began to emerge, I said, well, let me take this. This is like a huge secret that I've stumbled upon now. So let me take this and implement it and see what happens. So I got a group, some of my friends together, and they were also single at the time, and I said, hey, let's just try this out. Let's see what happens. Let's use these 5 steps and we'll implement it, and let's see what happens. And the most magical thing started to happen. I found that People became more radiant. They stepped into their authenticity. They became fun, lighter. They started attracting people into their lives, and the relationships were completely different because they were different people. Okay, and it was such an amazing journey that, you know, over the last 23 years now that I've been coaching. I've been interviewed on various radio stations. I've been asked by writers for expert opinion on different magazines like Cosmo, O Magazine, Fair Lady, and so on. And I've written over 70 articles that have been published in various newspapers. I've recorded over 75 videos on my YouTube channel called Creating Epic Relationships with Cass Naidu. So, you know, I think there's the why me, okay? So I didn't just get up one morning and say, oh, okay, there's a formula. I've got these 5 things. Let me just share it with the world. I've shared it with people, and I've, you know, helped over 1,000 people now find love in their lives. And I want to share with you today those 5 steps. And I want to share with you the secret that I stumbled upon, that I saw in the healthy couples. And the secret is that the answer is not out there, it's within you. And what I mean by that is, if we say all the good ones are taken, that means somebody has got to go and manufacture some new good ones so that we can match with them. If we're saying work is very demanding, that means work has got to shift. The company you're working for has got to shift, or the business has got to shift. If we're saying things like, you know, the dating apps are full of scammers, or they're full of people that don't want a commitment. So now what are we doing? Men don't want commitment. Now we're going to go and change all the men in the world. Can you see, if we feel that the problem is outside of us, it is impossible for us to change it. It's impossible for us to get a different result. So when we stop and we say, what can I do differently? That is the game changer. All right. So what are the 5 steps? So I have a program called Radical Self-Love that I've taken these 5 steps, put it into, and I'm going to share these 5 steps with you now. So the very first step is we've got to remove the blocks to love. Now, I know some of you watching this and say, I don't have any blocks. I want to find love. I'm ready for love. I've been alone for so long. I'm fine. I'm ready for love. I'm going to challenge you, and I'm going to tell you this. If that ideal partner is not in your life right now, if you are not in a great epic relationship right now, you've got blocks to love. That is the evidence. The evidence is that I don't have it, therefore the blocks are there. All right, because if there were no blocks, that relationship would already be a reality for you right now. So what are some of these blocks? So I've spoken about some of them as we were going. The mental blocks is the first one. So this is where we feel that, you know, oh, I need to lose weight first before I meet a partner. Oh, my life is so comfortable, you know, a partner's going to come mess it up, or all the good ones are taken. These are all our mental blocks. There's massive lists of this, you know, that you think about it. When someone asks you why you're still single, what do you say? Most of the time, the answer that you provide, these are your blocks to love. So if we keep thinking that way, if I keep thinking all the good ones are taken, then I'm not even open to meeting anybody, because that means there are no good ones left. Why would I put myself out there? Right? And if I do and I meet somebody, it's going to be a not good one. Does that make sense to you? Right? So the mental blocks are the first one. The second one is the emotional blocks. Because if you're a human being, you've been hurt before. You've been in relationships before, you've been hurt before. And when we get hurt, we kind of like put up a shield that says, don't hurt me. We don't really want to let people in too close. The minute we see something that we don't quite like, we're ready to run and say, no, 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 this is too much like the ex. You know, this is the same pattern again, so I don't want to get involved. I don't want to get hurt again. So it's the emotional stuff. And as long as that stuff is there within us, we haven't actually done the work to release that, to heal that, those blocks are in the way. Those blocks are keeping love away from you. And the third kind of block is a behavioral block. So with the behavioral block, it's what's in your actions. What action are you taking that's keeping love away? Or what actions are you not taking? For example, you go into a shopping mall and instead of smiling, looking up, making eye contact with people, you are frowning, you are dashing into one shop, getting what you want, next door, get what you want, you're in your car, you're back home. So you haven't really connected with anybody. You could be have a specific group of friends and it's a very closed group. That means no new people are coming into this group. You're going out with the same people all the time. You may be saying no to invitations that are coming your way. So these are all the actions that's preventing love from coming in, right? So that is the next one to look at. So these are the blocks. Once we remove these blocks, and only once we've removed these blocks, then we feel safe to open our hearts. Only then do we feel safe. We can put the shield down, we can put our swords down, and we can open ourselves up to love. And the first step is self-love, because when you fall in love with yourself, your energy shifts, you become radiant. And when you're radiant, you become visible to the love of your life that is there and waiting for you. But with everything in the way, they can't even find you. Okay? So when you become radiant, you become open. That love finds you, comes to you. With the feminine energy, we don't chase, we don't look for love. We don't go trying to find love. We attract love to us by becoming open, becoming radiant. So that is the radical self-love step. And that is so beautiful when you get to that point. When you're in love with yourself, in love with your life, now you're not waiting for someone to come in to make you happy because you're already happy. Now you're looking for someone to come in and you can co-create a relationship with this person. You can build a life with this person, right? Very different kind of relationship. Then the third step is getting absolute clarity. Now, if you've not done the first two steps, most people know what it is they want from a partner. You know, I want someone that is tall and good looking and slim and sexy and they're worldly wise and they're rich and on and on and on the list goes. But when you have removed all of these blocks and you know who you are, then you know what you bring, you know what you have to offer. That list becomes really, really long. These are all the things I have to offer in my magnificence. When I step into my potential and authenticity, this is what I have to offer. So when you know what you have to offer, you will not settle for less than that, right? And yes, we do get clear on the kind of partner we want, and we also need to get clear on the relationship that we want to create. Most people can't answer that question when I say, what kind of relationship do you want to create? May give me 1 or 2 points, but that's not it. When you really do the inner work and do steps 1 and 2, these lists come to you more easily, it flows from you. And then once you've got the clarity, now and only now can you step into step number 4, which is alignment. So now you're aligning all those limiting beliefs that you shifted. Now we're going to align those beliefs, those thoughts. We're going to align the emotions. We're going to align your behavior to this epic relationship. When everything is aligned, now you're attracting to you on a very different level. You'll find that the people that come into your life are very different from the people you've met in the past because you're a different person. Okay? And of course, then we take action. So often I meet people, you know, they get out of one relationship and immediately they want to get into the next relationship. So they jump into step 5 without having done the first 4. So the next relationship is the same as the last one. Next one is the same. Next one is the same. It's repeat, repeat, repeat until you get to a point and you say, I can't do this anymore. Then you know, I'm not wasting any more time. I'm now not focused outward. I'm going to focus inward, shift in within myself, and then create a completely different kind of relationship. So the people that complete the program, this is what I see in them. Firstly, I see them making better choices when it comes to a life partner. This is one of the most important decisions you will ever make in your life, because the quality of your relationship determines the quality of your life. When you have a relationship that is happy, healthy, supportive, where you're loving each other completely, openly, unconditionally, where you feel that you are supported, there's someone that always has your back, someone that deeply understands you, knows you, acknowledges you, accepts you as you are. When you know that, you can go out and conquer the world when you have that kind of relationship. But when you have a relationship where you're struggling and then there's arguments and you feel belittled and you feel unappreciated and unacknowledged, you're not going to take on the world from that space, right? From that space, you're not your best when it comes to work. You're not your best with your family. You're not your best with your friends. This is how important it is to choose the right partner and consciously create that epic relationship. I find that when you fall in love with yourself, then you don't ever drop your standards. You know what it is you have to offer. You will not settle for anything less than that. And then when you love yourself, you start to trust yourself. When you know who you are in all your glory, when you know that, you are able to take risks, put yourself out there, get into relationships, because if it doesn't work out, you know that you can handle it. You trust yourself that you will be able to handle it. Also, you're able to set clear boundaries. When someone is rude to you, you will be able to say, please do not speak to me in that manner. I respect myself, I love myself, and I will not be spoken to in this way. When someone is treating you badly, you're able to say no, you're able to set those clear boundaries when you love yourself. Also, you're able to ask for what it is you want. You show up as more confident, but the confidence is coming from your inner sense of self-worth and not from the outside. So this is what some of the people who've completed the program had to say about it. The one in the beginning says, this is helping me so much with my whole mood and emotions. I feel more positive energy. And the greatest thing is, especially when you pass module 2, you'll find that the people in your life start noticing the difference in you. When you love yourself, you start getting compliments. People say, you're looking brighter. This one said, you look like you've lost some weight. So all of these positive changes start taking place, and it's evident when the people in your life start noticing it as well, right? Another client says, I wish I did this earlier in my life. Another lady here did not wait until the 4 modules. She just went in after 2 weeks in the program, and she says, it's 2 weeks since the Radical Self-Love Program. I met a guy online yesterday. I'm mindful of how I come across, and I'm using all that I've learned so far. And you can see she's using more of a feminine energy, and she's asking questions, and she's about values, and she's assessing whether he augments her values. And I love this, because this is how we date consciously. We don't just go in there and, hope for the best and, hope that this is the right person for me. But we go in and we're not the one being interviewed. We're the one that's finding out, who is this person? Are they worthy of me? So now what happens next? So you have the 5 steps now to calling in the love of your life. You can do it yourself, right? You can do nothing, but I know that if you're still watching this, the chances are you're not that person who sits around and does nothing, right? Now you know, just as you went after your job, your house, your car, you're going to go after this relationship. The third option is that you can join me on the 8-week Radical Self-Love program. I'm not a salesperson, so I'm not going to ask you for email address and bombard you with daily emails and pester you into joining a program. I want you to actually put your hand on your heart and tap into your inner intuition. When was the last time that you truly just did something for you? When was the last time that you prioritized yourself, your own healing, stepping into your fullest potential as a human being? When is it, when was the last time you did that for you? And if whatever you've been doing in the past has not given you the result that you want, you haven't managed to really attract into your life a relationship that is so deeply meaningful. I believe that every single one of us deserves a relationship where we are seen and appreciated and acknowledged for who we are, to be loved so deeply, to experience this one great love. I really believe that it is possible and available for every single person. All right. So for me, I'm not this big salesperson. I'm just telling you, this is what I have to offer you. I've helped over 1,000 people find love. This is who I am. I'm here to serve you. All right. And the program, it runs over 8 weeks. There are 4 modules. So you'll take about 2 weeks with each module, because it's not just about, sitting there watching a video. It's about actually doing the work. I give you exercises. I make it as practical as possible so that in that time you feel a transformation. It's not like I've read a great book, but nothing's changed in my life, right? So it's week by week. I want you to feel yourself change, shift, transform, release the stuff that doesn't work anymore, embrace new thinking, new emotions, new behaviors. I want you to feel the transformation that happens. So the cost of the program is $497, or you can pay it in 2 installments of $300. Also added to that, I have a weekly discussion group because I want you to have the support as well. You can come in there, ask your questions, share your transformations, your realizations, listen to other people as they ask questions as well, because sometimes someone asks a question that you didn't think of asking, but it impacts you as well. So, take a deep dive, and who knows, like these 2 ladies here, in the next couple of weeks, you could be in that great relationship. The one lady said, she learned through the program to become self-aware and make changes to myself. It's easier than changing others, right? It's not out there, it's in here. And she said, self-love followed and the universe delivered my heart's desires. I'm in a happy, committed relationship. And, so she's completed the Radical Self-Love program. Another lady on this side here, again, didn't wait for the program to be over. 3 weeks into the program, she was different. She was radiant. She put herself out there and she said, I met my partner and started a beautiful relationship. It's different from my past relationships because I am a different person. So if this resonates with you, if you feel that, this is something that you really, really want, you want to attract the love of your life, then come and join me on the program. You can, I'll leave an email address in the description box below this video, and you can send me an email and tell me you're interested in the Radical Self-Love program, and I will send you a calendar link. We'll set up a free 30-minute session. I'd love to get to know you a little bit, see where you're at in your life, what the challenges are, and if the program can actually meet those challenges that you have. And let's make this the year that you step out and find the love of your life. So jump on the program, do something for yourself, and maybe in a month or 2 months' time, you're going to be in this epic relationship with the love of your life. Take care.